Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic collaboration of Let's Talk Business and Wrestle Plug. I am, of course, your host, the Egyptian shit housery master that is Aaron Nix. Joining us are three of the most delectable individuals, all wrestlers, by the way, all active individuals in the wrestling world. Not a bunch of sweaty marks pretending they are on other podcasts, which will go unnamed for this moment. So, but I will say one thing: Roger Sears, raisins. You know what I mean. Now, yeah. Raisins, mate, raisins. Joining us, I've mentioned him, so I may as well introduce him. Is of course the current reigning and defending BCD champion, the somewhat savage champion, depending on whether that promotion actually knows what it's doing. Oh, I'm sorry. What, are you going to send me hateful emails like you do all the time on Facebook? Shut up, Marks. So basically, he's the BCD champion, and he also sometimes carries around a watch strap that looks terrible. So, you know, it's the history maker. It's the main event, and it's the man who wishes that he wasn't associated with me right now. It's Ross.
Hello, Adrian. How is everyone?
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Christ.
It's been a weekend, huh? It's been a weekend.
Yeah.
It's been a busy one. Also joining us, of course, he's one half of the delectable podcast and tag team of Let's Talk Business. It is the Hitman, Gabe Myers.
Ooh.
Yes, indeed.
Hope everyone's well and good.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Rousseau himself is back in the house. And rounding out the Fatal Four is, of course, Mr. Clean, Anton Green.
Yo.
All right, we are here, as you no doubt know.
I heard that.
What did he say?
He called me sheep.
Sheep. Yeah.
Zebra. It's a zebra. You got your animals wrong.
Even a sheep can predict things very well by the looks of it. Ladies and gentlemen, SummerSlam was last night. I was at Rise, so I didn't watch it live. I'm assuming these boys have watched it.
Yep.
I have blitzed through it in record time, so my apologies if I don't have all the details down. I'm sure these boys will fill the gaps. But we're going to review SummerSlam match by match rather quickly, and then obviously recap the predictions war that we always have. There was no forfeit because, of course, Gabe couldn't be bothered to turn up last week, and Anton gets a pass because he was on holiday. And Roger Sears has terrible internet. So we start with the greatest professional wrestler of all time beating Ricochet in the opener. Logan Paul. Right there. Heat, all the heat, brass knuckles, the whole lot. How do you like your fucking prime, pal? Yeah. Fucking money. This podcast is sponsored by this shit, I tell you. Fucking good shit. Ah, yes. Great opener, by the way. Actually, genuinely fucking amazing. Anton Green, your thoughts on Logan Paul versus Ricochet?
Good match. Yeah, it was a good match. I think that's the thing. When you watch it, like you can see. Like Gabe said before on our podcast as well, like he's got something there, but I think it's inbuilt because he's already got he's got pre-built heat from the fact that he's considered an outsider. He's not popular with everybody because of the prime and stuff. So that's already going to get him a reaction. So the crowd's with him. You enjoyed your prime there, Aaron.
You know what? Prime's really good. Suck my dick.
I'm not gonna drink it.
It's really good.
I'll stick to water.
The energy drink, not so good, but the hydration ones are actually really good. So
yeah,
I've
never tried
Morrison's for all you marks who are buying it. Of course, Prime sucks if you're buying it for 12 quid a bottle. What tastes good at £12 a bottle that isn't alcoholic? Yeah, it was fucking great. Roger Sears, are you a fan of Logan Paul?
As a person, no. I think he's a twat. But in terms of wrestling, he's very good, isn't he? He is very good for how short an amount of time he's been doing
all your heroes, mate.
That's right, yeah, of course. Perfect opener, I think.
You know what, right? I don't pay money to see good people. Also, there are how many millions upon millions, if not billions of people are Catholic and worship the Pope and a general religion that is renowned for Roger and young boys. So you know what? I'll cry me a river. Oh, Logan Paul sold me an energy drink and it was too expensive. Oh, Logan, I bought cryptocurrency because I'm a moron. Fucking shut up. Like, you know what? If it's a popularity contest or you need somebody to give you a hug at night, go and buy a dog, you melt. Like, it's boring. Boring.
Has he been charged for that? Has he been charged or not really?
Has he what?
Has he been charged for the alleged crypto stuff or no?
Apparently not. It was just an apology. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I think the thing that really got people the most was the Suicide Forest thing. That was the first thing that came to
Oh,
mind.
yeah.
He kind of made it, and like nobody's saying it like it's a good thing to mock that stuff, but at the same time, again, it comes down to that choice of he's controversial, you know what his content's all about. Why are you watching it if you're offended by it?
Yeah. Totally.
Gabe, big fan of Logan Paul, and overall, do you feel that he did job in this match?
Personally, I vaguely knew who he was from YouTube years ago. But to be fair, the match was all right for what it was. But Anton knows where I'm going with this match. I like the fact that he taunted Ricochet's fiance. Because obviously for me, I go for family, I go for anything. That's my kind of heat in terms of bad guys. So
when he's not talking about wrestling either. He's just right in there. Yo, you got a wife?
As soon as I saw that, I was like, mate, well done, mate. Well done.
When a hitman gets a target, they're in trouble.
But no, the match was again. It was what it was. It was a decent match and everything. I think the brass knuckles thing did make me laugh in the end. Though I thought after everything, if this man is not walking around with with bandage around his head or at least days on Raw or on Raw, is he on Raw or SmackDown?
Raw. Okay,
Raw. If he doesn't show up on Raw, like basically like he's half loopy, then stuff you, mate. But other than that, yeah, I'm good.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like his hand has the titanium in it, and that's been he's giving. Wasn't it like that's the danger for Roman Reigns? If he hits Roman Reigns with that hand, not even like brass. So why did you need brass knuckles? Like, why didn't you just hit him with that hand? And that's it's almost like what have you added to that hand that was already like the knockout for everybody before?
Yeah.
But, my only criticism of it is that it is slightly overbooked. Like there's way too many false finishes in it, so it gets to a point where it's like.
Come on.
Okay. Like, yeah, it makes Ricochet look quite strong, which is good because he's not really considered a big star, is he?
But you say that, but then, like you said, it goes back to that thing where I said before. Should a wrestler have trouble fighting someone who's not a wrestler? You know,
but I mean,
it's like Bam Bam and LT.
Yeah, but he's considered a fighter, though, isn't he? They've given it like he's done like boxing with Floyd Mayweather and. Like
plus, he's also wrestled Roman Reigns in the main event of a pay-per-view. So
he's kind of given like the athlete
standpoint. He should have more than enough to be able to hang with Ricochet. Really.
You know what? I actually forgot about that. That's thanks for reminding me. I forgot.
I forgot to fill in the large amount of blanks in your head. Knowledge is power, baby.
Indeed, it is.
Mate, you'll feel more refreshed. But it's I really enjoyed it, and every single time I see Logan Paul. He does something that so many people, like the crowd are all over him for heat. They're so funny because they're like, we hate him because he's an outsider. And it's like, yeah, and he's still better than the majority of the roster. He cuts a better promo. He looks magnificent, by the way. He's in incredible condition. His athleticism is great. And also, he actually sells. He has facial expressions. Like you say, he was taunting Samantha Irvin at ringside. He was bringing story. What did Ricochet add to this match from an entertainment standpoint? And exactly that. 0. You know why? Because he has the personality of a walnut. I like Ricochet as a wrestler. He's a incredible athlete. Everyone does. But being a great athlete, that's fantastic in AEW where they don't know how to book, and that's great on the indies where it's all about athleticism, proper wrestling and stuff. And even then, on the indies, who do we love most? Sky Smithson and Tate Mayfairs and, people who bring character. So, I like Ricochet. I think this is a good moment for him. It's great that he was in the ring with Logan Paul. It gives him a bit of cachet, gives him some mainstream attention as well, which is nice because obviously the one thing that a lot of the news outlets will talk about and YouTube will talk about is Logan Paul, which means who's his opponent, Ricochet. Good news for him in that respect.
Yeah.
But again, this is just...
And he didn't go down clean either, so I suppose that's an addition to him. It's like he didn't actually get beat legit. He had the knuckles.
Yeah,
a little caveat for him.
I would have rather he just low blowed him or so, and I think the knuckles is a bit overkill. Like the knuckles are supposed to be used for like big moments.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So in a way, it kind of like looks good for Ricochet. It's like, oh, you had to take it to that level Like the big, to beat me, like you didn't beat me without.
Unless they're going to do it again, they might run it back, which is really good. Stick him inside a cage or something. Awesome, like make it a little bit more personal. Maybe Logan Paul gets a little bit too frisky with his misses on an episode.
You can coach him, Gabe.
I'm ready.
Salivating. She's pretty peng, to be fair. She's pretty peng. So I would say this about Ricochet. He may not have much in the way of charisma when it comes to being a wrestler, but he doesn't know how to tear through a locker room of women. I'll give him that much.
Yeah, I give him that too. I give him that as well.
Man's obviously got a monstrous member. Right, speaking of monstrous members, Brock Lesnar was finally defeated outright by Cody Rhodes in a rather physical super.
Bye.
Not a fan. So yeah, Cody Rhodes defeated Brock Lesnar by pinfall in 17 minutes, which has to be the longest I've ever seen Brock Lesnar go.
No,
wasn't it for a long time?
Okay.
For a long time. What do we think about this match? All right, Gabe, you took your headset off, so you obviously got opinions.
No, you know what it was? I enjoyed it. I think again, Cody Rhodes is good. I can't knock him. He's good. I've always liked him anyway. But you know what it is? I'm still one of those few guys that actually does like Brock. And it's weird because I kind of want, even though really he's had his moment, I don't want him to kind of be phased out, if that makes sense. In terms of, okay, he can beat Omos and all those other guys, but when it comes to, like I said, it's like with Braun Strowman. You can beat the mid guys, you can beat the lower guys, but then the really top tier guys, you just can't do it anymore. I'm just like, eh. But to be fair, it's more the fan in me, if anything else. But the match itself, I enjoyed it. And to be fair, if Cody doesn't beat Roman now going forward, then again,
that's what the handshake thing at the end of sign of respect is for.
Yeah.
To kind of be like, that's the nod of approval from what was arguably the most destructive talent for the last 10 years. So he's like saying, do you know what? Yeah, beat me clean. Well done, mate. You survived me, so you actually deserve to be known as one of the best. And that kind of cements him as, yeah, you're a big star now. Like, we can genuinely believe that you can take Roman later down the line. What do you think, Roger Sears?
I enjoyed that one. For me, the result, it had to be that way. If Cody not only had to beat him, but he had to beat him decisively. Otherwise, where the fuck did Cody go from there?
He tried to tear the man's shorts. Did you see?
Yeah, I know, right? What the hell?
Get your shorts off, Lesnar. It's real time now. I'll show you some ruthless aggression.
And I think the handshake at the end does a lot for Cody, and that kind of, like getting the props from Brock.
Reminded me when Undertaker shook Jeff Hardy's hand off that ladder match.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like just sort of saying like, yeah, fair enough, kid. Like John Cena did that with the Undertaker as well, didn't he? Undertaker gave him a handshake after his debut. Like, it's sort of, and now Brock Lesnar's kind of that gatekeeper where he can sort of say, yeah, that's the guy right there. Give him some love. What do you think, Anton?
Yeah, that was my favourite match of
really.
It's a match I was most looking forward to. And it's like the one I enjoyed the most.
That was your favourite match of the
night?
It
is, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan of both. Like I like the Cody Rhodes match. I like Brock Lesnar in general. So them two against each other. What's that?
I'm about to upset you then.
That's your least favourite, was it?
I thought it was boring as shit. It was fine. Like, it wasn't terrible. I thought the suplexes were overkill. Way too overkill. Like, I know that's what we expected. Suplex.
Yeah.
He gave him like 50. I was like, fuck off, mate. Also, the count out thing was, like when it's so evident they're trying to smash somebody over that they just go overkill with it. That was what was happening. It was like, yeah, we get it. He won't stay down, but he just keeps fucking going out. And also, I lean towards the credibility of like, okay, Brock Lesnar quite literally destroyed him and couldn't get it done. So it does kind of, for me, damage Brock Lesnar's cachet a little bit going forward.
That's what I think as well. That's what I think, personally.
Like, there was, I feel like they could have taken some of that out and still told a great story and still had Cody overcome it. I did like the Kimura lock thing. It's quite cool. I've never seen anyone actually put him in it. Although there is no way Brock Lesnar is ever going to tap. Ever.
No.
I mean, when I was looking at it, I know he sold it like that, but I was kind of thinking like, this just part you just feels like he could just shake that off.
Yeah.
The size of those arms, like in the Kimura, but
what did he do? What was it he did to AJ Styles? Was it when AJ Styles had him literally just like kind of just bang him on the floor?
That's what he did to Cody. He just lifted him and slammed it down and it broke.
I just want to actually murder
Shake
him.
it off, yeah.
I'll give you Ring of Honor, you little cunt. Fucking awesome. Yeah, no, it was fine for what it was, but it didn't tickle my fancy, to be fair. But fair enough.
I'll be honest. One question for everybody, because it's part of this match. Do you think Cody Rhodes is the next John Cena, Stone Cold? Rock?
Oh, their next big poster child? Probably.
Yeah.
I think he deserves to be in that position.
Okay, fair enough.
I think, well, I mean, listen to the audience. Like, one thing I will say is that the stadium was fantastic. Like, great setup, great pyros and that. Just a great atmosphere. Huge fucking place. You know, of course, Dave Meltzer's shitting on it today, saying, "Oh, they inflated their ticket sales." Like, look, Dave, like, you know, we get it. Okay, you have inhaled a large amount of Khan semen. It's okay, mate. It's fine. Like, just fucking own it, bruv, and move on. You fucking loser. Honestly, what's a fucking melt? Quite literally, it's in his name. He is literally the biggest melt walking this earth. Change his first name to Tuna, and you're sorted, aren't you? Really? Like, I'm bored of it. But yeah, it was fine for what it was, and yeah, I have no problem with Cody Rhodes being the guy, especially if he's going to be the one that dethrones Roman Reigns. But he's also that guy. I trust him much more than I do a Seth Rollins to make all these opponents look as good as possible.
Yeah.
So I know that anyone that wrestles him is going to look strong and superb, even if they lose. I don't trust certain guys in that roster that are considered the guys to be able to do that as much. So that's fair enough. Speaking of over, like no other, LA Knight, who literally blew the roof off the stadium when he came out. And he did, of course, win the most predictable Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal of all time. So snapping to a Slim Jim. Thank God they showed Macho Man Randy Savage. I appreciated that. Like, thank you. You cannot talk about Slim Jim without the man himself. LA Knight won. Shock, fucking horror. Boring match, though, if you ask me. Like, I didn't care at all.
No, to be fair. No.
Just Battle Royal, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I think my only thing is, like I said, I've always liked him when it was Eli Drake. But, and forgive me, people, I feel like if WWE give the people LA Knight, they'll just say, "I'm good." It's one of those ones where they love him so much now, but if they give him LA Knight, I reckon they'll just say, "Okay, yeah, you're right, but you know, really, you are like an Austin Rock kind of." I can see it. I don't know what it is. I can just see it.
The fans will complain, even though that's what they wanted.
They'll push for it till they get it, and then maybe.
Same thing
that's wrestling fans in a nutshell, though, right?
And it's a shame because generally he's good. Like I said, I liked him in TNA. I admit I didn't watch too much of him in NWA, but he's come there, he's done his stuff and everything. And I know they're talking about he's 40. Okay, everyone's 40. Brett was 40. Hogan, Savage. Okay, fine, whatever. But I just feel like, mate, just ride this gravy train for as long as you can, because once you're given the belt or given that spot, nah.
Yeah, he does strike me as a one and done if he does.
Yeah.
So if anything, they need to move him over to Raw, where the world title is a little bit more competitive and believable, and more than just maybe the main guy. Like, you know.
But I think the problem with him, though, and again, I don't mind him, but a lot of people say his work isn't that great. Like, to me, his work's all right, but he's not. Personally, for me, it's fine. But he's not like he's not apparently Cody, AJ, Kenny Omega. He's not like that. I'm like, he doesn't need to be.
Why is Kenny Omega on that list?
I don't know.
I thought you said work.
Again, because Anton, I looked at Anton. I thought, okay, let me go AEW, so I cannot be cool.
Anton's favorite wrestler, Kenny Omega.
Anton's a sheep, so it's all right. Sheep.
But yeah, I'm sensing a bit of jealousy. Really?
No.
There'll be a bit that he didn't win.
I just feel that from the time I've come to the show. Before this, I used to win my Nostradamus. I used to kind of get like the picks when it really mattered. Since I was like coming on here.
Do you know what WrestlePlug does?
Lies. Listen to all the previous episodes of Lesnar. I beat him like pretty much every show.
But like I said, where it really mattered, I got it. Where it mattered, I got it. No. I got the WrestleManias, I got the Onset Survivor Series. I was all right, man.
Lies.
Look, I even picked Shane to come back and win, remember, years ago.
I'm not. Let's not go into that one. He's telling me basically what his predictions were after the event had happened. Oh yeah, I predicted that. Did you? You never told me. You tell me after it happened.
Everyone's a Nostradamus when they can predict afterwards, right?
Exactly.
But ultimately, ever since WrestlePlug came on board with Let's Talk Business, the truth is out there, mate, because we deal with that, don't we? We don't talk about absolute nonsense. Like, that's why we're so hated here at WrestlePlug. That's why we get heat, innit, Rog? Because we tell the fucking truth here, and people don't like that in this business.
No, they don't.
Facebook and have a little cry about it. So yeah, LA Knight won. No surprises whatsoever. Sheamus was last eliminated, so that kind of makes him look, relatively keeps him kind of, interesting to a certain degree. Shows people that he's all right. I quite like Bronson Reed, by the way. I feel like he should be doing more. I'm a big fan of Bronson Reed. Like his style. Big meaty horse.
That reminds me of One Man Gang. Does he not remind you to you at all? When you see him?
He has
the crossbones, isn't he?
He has done a tribute to him before.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So that would probably explain that. And ultimately, really underrated as a worker, actually, One Man Gang. So, no, that's fair. The match of the night, the MMA rules match.
Ooh.
Shayna Baszler beat Ronda Rousey by technical submission. Roger Sears, you're an MMA fighter. What did you think?
I'm not an MMA fighter.
You could have fooled me. The stiffness you've been landing those.
Fair enough.
That's what happens to Sean Riley when he gets in the way. Stupid little gimp.
This is the point I was thinking with this match, was that the moment they said it was going to be under MMA rules, it was like, okay, well, it's not going to be a wrestling match, but because it's being promoted on a wrestling show, it's not going to be full on MMA, so it's going to fall somewhere in the middle, and it's probably going to be shit.
Yep.
And to be fair, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was crap. I don't think much of it looked all that strong. Some of the strikes looked really weak because it looked like they were actually holding back rather than.
I don't know. Did you see the knee lift?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, there were those right hands Ronda's throwing to her midsection that looked incredibly weak, and I just think because they weren't fully one way or fully the other way, it fell in the middle, and I think there are a lot of fans who will probably go, "What the fuck was that? That was not what I want to see on a wrestling show." So I think it was a real miss. I think it could have been something special between the two of them, but because of how they promoted it, they kind of gave it no chance to actually develop into something special.
And Tom Green, what do you think of that assessment?
I'd almost echo exactly, what Roger said. That's kind of what I thought. I had sort of more high hopes for that one. Think it's going to be something good because of them two finally facing off. But I think the match the match style just took it out of it. Like it didn't deliver. The crowd wasn't into it. It just fell completely flat. From I think there was quite high expectations for that. Thinking them two facing each other, it's like they've got that aura about them. They're both like actually got the MMA background. They come across, and working together, you think it's going to be really good. And it's like the MMA thing just sort of threw it. I think if they'd had a regular match and that could have delivered better. But as it was, it was a dud for me.
Gabe, you in agreement with the boys?
Yep, this match was a 0. You know what it is for WWE? I don't understand it. WWE now, they're now owned by TKO, whatever that company, well, supposedly, by, this company that owns them in UFC. These guys can legitimately fight. Why don't you just let them fight?
Yeah.
It made you wonder, didn't it? When they're saying it's an MMA rule, it's like, are you actually going to give them an actual? But it's not sanctioned by WWE. Oh, you're actually going to give them a legit MMA fight? Like, nah, they're not.
And the thing is, it's not like they're held to the, they're not constricted where, when Vince had it, okay, we can't do it because of sponsors. They're owned now by a company that owns UFC. So obviously you have the money, you have the docs and everything, just give us what we want. I was watching that, I just thought, and I thought, okay, I know Ronda's done anyway. I knew she was done, so I just thought, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is she done now?
Yeah, she's done. She's done.
I think that's like, that's kind of the rumor.
So I wouldn't have picked her.
I know. I was thinking that when I saw your result. Have you heard the rumor?
I only paid attention to search sheets for the news, so I have no clue about that stuff. So yeah, if I'd known that, I would have picked her.
Well, the thing is, she said she wants to have another baby. Her and a waste of her husband, Travis Brown. Terrible UFC fighter.
Travis Brown, I have is the #1 Aaron Nix lookalike in the country.
So what, you want Ronda Rousey, yeah? You want Ronda Rousey?
Right, I do. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm going to deny it. Yeah, because you'd absolutely be like, nah, Ronda, you're all right, love. You go on, shoot.
Oh, I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought, mate.
I'm just saying he's a waste of a UFC fighter. That's what I'm saying. He was rubbish, personally.
Well, but I personally thought he was match of the night. So.
Yeah.
Gabe almost was like, "You what, mate?" No. It wasn't fantastic. I don't think it was. It was definitely the weakest match of the night, but I don't think it was horrible. Like, I'm never gonna look back and think, "Oh God, remember that MMA match? How terrible that was!" Like,
no, I think it's what you expected from it and what it delivered makes it feel like a big letdown in that
Shamrock,
sense.
Severin, remember?
Yeah, you would think that you get something really like good out
of
of
those scrubs. They ain't won nothing. Ronda Rousey, former heavyweight champion, but what, bantamweight champion?
Yeah.
But then ever do?
But you have to remember that people are saying with Ronda, well, she was good when no one was there. Now when people were there and people could actually fight her back, look what happened to her. You were saying the other day, Anton. Holly Holmes and who's the other one? Is it Nunes?
Yeah, Nunes. Yeah, like once it really stepped up.
Yeah.
But that's the same with Conor McGregor, though, isn't it? Like that's what they do with these. Just like UFC, they throw all these weak guys out in front of them, and then when they finally do face someone, they get leveled. That's normally what happens. Same with boxing as well. Speaking
of boxing, just very quick one. Nate Diaz, I'm ashamed of you, mate. I'm ashamed of you.
What happened? What's that mean? What did he have? I heard. Did he have a fight?
He fought Jake Paul. Yeah.
I think he took a dive. He must have.
Oh, please! Like anything involving YouTubers, that's a fix. That's not proper.
Nick, he looked like he was out of shape. He just looked like he just didn't know what he was doing. I'm thinking,
I think it's just there for the money.
Yeah. Shameful.
I even Floyd Mayweather couldn't knock out Logan Paul, could he? But that's all rigged, in my opinion. I think that's all worked. Like that's about money and that's about marquee. That's not about genuine, proper old school fighting, is it? Like,
he did say after the fight, that was it. I'll pay you 10.
A prime Tyson or Holyfield would absolutely destroy these people. Like,
oh gosh, yes.
Just murder them. Literally, prime Tyson, in his first 3 or 4 years, would fucking kill all of these people in a heartbeat. It is what it is. The only thing that's really good about it is that at least Shayna Baszler comes out with a marquee win, which is something.
Yeah. Really?
She badly needs that. So, but it's that problem of, okay, we beat Ronda Rousey, but Ronda Rousey has had her cachet driven right down in the last few months. So it doesn't mean as much. If she'd beaten her, after about a year of Rousey being in the company, that would have been a much, much bigger deal.
Yeah.
So, it's at least, if nothing else, it gives her the qualification to be a number one contender for one of the women's champions later down the line. I think she's isn't she on Raw, Shayna Baszler?
Yeah.
She's a credible threat to Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I can believe Shayna Baszler can give Rhea Ripley a bit of fucking trouble. Whereas someone like Liv Morgan, for instance, in her current position, as much as I love her, is not going to have the same kind of ability. Whereas with Shayna Baszler, it's like, I just choked out Ronda Rousey. So I could probably handle you little bitch.
It's like a horse.
So it is that. Speaking of two actual premium heavyweights, Drew McIntyre and Gunther for the IC title. Of course, no one in their right mind would pick anyone but Gunther for this match. Oh, wait.
I did. Look, I'm a fan of Honky Tonk Man. I still want that record to be there, but it ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be.
Nobody cares about your beloved Honky.
Anton, how long was he the longest Intercontinental champ for? How long was he champ for?
Well, I think they said he's got another month to go to beat Honky Tonk Man, so I think he's pretty safe now that he's gonna.
Done now, mate.
If he got past Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam, it's like, he's
if anybody is in Detroit right now, you see someone called Gunther, please smack him back with his head. Please just put one of these legs so you can cover some.
Like natives of Michigan to die on the street. No need for that. If you hate people from Michigan that much, there are much worse.
Look, if he can't wrestle, if he's out for 6 months, then obviously the belt gets taken from it. So it's like, well, yeah.
Suck it up, mate. And ultimately, this generation of fans will remember Honky Tonk Man as the goik who got fucking hit over the head with a guitar at Royal Rumble more so. In fact, he's probably more famous for getting laid out with a guitar than he is for being the longest reigning IC champion.
How shameful is that, though? When you think about it, I like him.
Oh yeah, no, I loved him in his prime. He's fantastic. But
I love his shoots. To be fair, his shoots are quite funny. To be fair,
his shoots are some of the best. He's also one of the originators of the shoot as well. He's one of the very first people to do that, which is very cool. Because we all fucking love shoots now. They're oversaturated like crazy now. But back in his time, it was good. Good match. Enjoy the match.
It's weird. I did, but. I did, but I kind of knew going into it, kind of like watching it. I was like, I just thought Gunther's gonna win. I just thought,
really? I can't see. So why'd you take Drew McIntyre then?
Again, the fan in it. The fan of me in it.
I got into it more as we got as the match.
Did you, bro?
I did think, but I thought
basically what you're saying is you're dumb.
No, not that.
I'm hearing that you're a bit stupid. What you're saying to me is, oh yeah, I knew Gunther was going to win. I just picked Drew McIntyre because I'm a mark.
Any Myers fan, if you ever see Aaron Nix during this week, please just gently tap on the back of his head. Gently tap.
I'm seeing Roger Sears on Tuesday. Let's see if he's feeling frisky.
No, basically, it's one of those things.
Yeah, he don't want none of that.
No,
and he's the only one at BCD who's got any hope of fucking having a chance with me, and even he don't want none. The rest of that roster is scared of me, and they should be.
No, I think like Anton said, I think the more I kind of go into the match, the more the match get going. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm into it more. And I kind of was thinking, it's like a hope. I think it was near the end when he hit with the Claymore. I was like, maybe. Yeah. Then he kicked out. I was like, okay, no, they definitely the Gunther's one now for sure.
What did I say? It's the hope that kills you.
That's true. That's true.
I thought it was again Gunther proving that he is by far and away the best wrestler in the world. I'll tell you what. Question. I'll pose this to anybody who's having, especially in WWE, but in my opinion, I mean, I think Gunther has had far more better matches than anyone AEW has had, because that's not even an argument to me. But who has had a better quality of successive title matches than Gunther in this company?
No one I can think of, to be fair. Yeah.
Every single match he's had has been excellent. It has been high quality. It has been worth paying for.
See, I was going to say Christian Cage, but then he's AEW. And Christian Cage. Yeah. Former NWA champion, 2-time NWA champion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good shit, pal. Yeah. It was linked with TNA. Yeah, great.
When it meant something, mate. When it meant something.
Really? Yeah. Not when it was around like, Ric Flair and Harley Race and all that. No, when it was Christian, yeah.
Mate, if TNA had asked you to come work for them, you would have zoomed down to Florida like that, mate. So yeah.
Pretty sure Ron Killings won it, mate.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anton, before go on, say something.
No, I'll let you have your match. I'll let you and
me and him go back and forth. Going back and forth. You're gonna keep saying, "Oh, well, I'm taking over the show. I'm taking over the show."
Right now.
He's trying to use the same material on you that he used on me.
No.
If they were going to give you the belt, you'd be. He always says that to me. If they would give you the belt, then you'd be all over it. It's like you can't criticize them because you take the belt if they gave it to you.
Well, as I said before, TNA, when TNA was good, was very good. Everyone enjoyed it. I know you enjoyed it, Aaron.
Most modern fans weren't alive when it was good.
Oh my gosh, that's true. That's true.
That's the really sad thing about it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh boy, makes me forward now.
I just love the fact that he's going on about how great the NWA Championship was when Christian had it as his.
No. I said when it still meant something.
Never heard of him. Lou scrub. Christian.
I said when it still meant something. I said when Christian won it from Jeff Jarrett, when Jeff Jarrett had it for ages, no one could beat him.
Oh yeah, Jeff Jarrett really solidified how great.
Oh, piss off! You like Jeff Jarrett. So don't even go there.
Jeff Jarrett, but if you try and sit here and tell me that Jeff Jarrett is one of the all-time great NWA champions, you're an idiot. Right?
Outside the top 10, he's there. Outside the top 10, he's like 11.
I will say one thing. Your boy Dan Severn did win the NWA championship.
But again, Jeff's above him.
He was one of the longest reigning ones. Wasn't
That's
he?
true.
He held it for like
Taboo,
1,000 days.
Yeah.
Hey, Taboo fucking won it. Right. So, I mean,
prestigious belt. Prestigious. It's a prestigious belt. It has history. Don't knock it, mate. Don't knock it.
Yeah, that's why.
Anton's boy. Did Gary still win it? Your boy Anton?
Mm-hmm.
He won it.
Got it for a few days.
Yeah. Wait, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. You're killing my argument there.
Zero.
No.
So I'm pretty sure Christian won it the second time off Abyss.
Technically,
which means Abyss was the champion.
No, technically,
Abyss was NWA champion.
And the thing is, this is when Abyss actually was good. This is before he got turned into this clown, this Hulk Hogan reject. I forgot you can't use that word anymore. This Hulk Hogan imbecile. I apologize.
You can use reject. I think you're thinking of the other word.
Yeah, I know.
You're okay to use that.
No, who else has won the NWA Heavyweight Championship? Colt Cabana.
Yeah, but when he won it, it meant nothing. When he won it, it meant nothing.
Oh, okay. So it's
after Christian. It's after Christian. It's like BC and like before after Christian.
After 2007, so after Christian Cage, I won it after 2007.
ACC.
It was done. It was
in
done.
the year ACC after Christian Cage.
It was done. It was done.
So when Nick Aldis held it for like 2 years, pile of shit, yeah. Tell you what, mate, Nick Aldis infinitely better than Christian Cage will ever be.
Oh, piss off! No way.
Really.
Anton, no way. Anton Rodgers, come on, man. No way.
What did he
ask him a rescue?
Man don't need Mr. Clean.
Remember, I'm a sheep.
On Christian's worst day, he is miles better than Magnus or Nick Aldis. On his worst day, and again, I actually did like Magnus for a while. I did, but no comparison.
I'm talking about Magnus. Talk about Nick Aldis.
Same guy, mate. Same guy.
Yeah, I bet you haven't watched this match in like 10 years. So you wouldn't know shit, would you?
Listen, the last match I watched of him was which one? It was in
Nick Aldis is currently being headhunted by WWE. Christian Cage is currently running around being a manager for a dinosaur.
The last match I watched of him was against Alex Shelley on Impact now. So yeah, that's the most recent one. So I have watched. Yeah, but it was rubbish. But you asked me the last match I watched him.
You think Nick Aldis versus Alex Shelley was rubbish?
You think it was good?
Behave. If you tried to have a match like that, your heart would explode. Fucking out here chatting shit about Alex Shelley and Nick Aldis.
You like Alex Shelley?
Who doesn't like Alex Shelley? He's a great.
Wow. Really? Well, I think he's all right. I don't think he's anything special.
I mean, what you're saying is you wouldn't wrestle him if you had the opportunity.
I would rather wrestle Magnus. I rather wrestle.
So therefore, proving my point, Nick Aldis is excellent. Thank you.
No. I'm saying Alex Shelley isn't that great. I'm saying I'd rather Magnus over him.
Oh, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Alex Shelley is like one of the world's best. Not, but he's a great wrestler. There's no denying that.
Great. I won't say he's great. He's decent. I won't say he's great. No, nothing against the guy. But when it was Kurt Angle, when everyone was there, he was decent. He was alright, but he wasn't anything special.
He was in the X division, wasn't he? Like, he had a great match with Kurt Angle. Ran him to the limit. Kurt Angle himself actually came out and said, "Yeah, Alex Shelley, one of the best I've been in the ring with." So
didn't Kurt Angle used to call him Pigpen and everything because he was so insignificant he couldn't remember his name?
Really?
So, he did. He did.
Of course he did.
Vince Russo put his book.
Well, I just find it mind blowing that you think that Christian Cage is like. Would you say he's the greatest NWA Heavyweight Champion of all time?
Of course not. Of course I wouldn't say that. But
where is he in the list?
12. Where's Jeff Jarrett's 11? Where's Christian?
Yeah, right.
He's 12.
If Jeff Jarrett ain't back in the top 10, please.
He's 12, mate. He's 12. He's like 12 or 30.
I'm going to pull up a list of NWA Heavyweight.
Go on, pull up a list then. Go on, pull up a list.
Fucking well. All right.
Go on then.
Right now. No, it's fine by me. Hold on.
Go on.
WATN.
Come on, guys. Help me out here.
You're going in this one alone.
All right, fine, go on.
This is your war. You say.
I feel sorry for all the people who tuned in just hoping to hear about SummerSlam right now.
No, thing is, I actually tried to put it back to SummerSlam. But
right, here we go. Right, okay. Right. Oh, Gene LaBelle, scrub, mate. Never heard of him. Buddy Rogers. Oh, yeah, right then. Fuck it. Lou Fez.
2.
Okay. Bruno Sammartino.
3.
Bobo Brazil.
Yeah.
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 You of all people.
I have a brother, and I'm saying so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Come on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, 4. That's 4. That's 4.
Corey Funk Jr.
5.
Harley Race.
6.
Jack Briscoe.
7.
Terry Funk.
8.
Dusty Rhodes.
9.
Ric Flair.
10.
Right, now where's Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, come on.
we need one more person.
Go on, I'm waiting for it.
Cologne.
Huh?
Acting like he doesn't know that Cologne is the most famous name. You love Puerto Rico, so you're up shit creek here if you try and bury Carlos Colon.
Carlos Colon ain't got nothing on Jeff Jarrett, sorry.
Fucking hell,
he's got nothing. On Jeff Jarrett's worst day, Carlos Colon has got nothing. On Jeff Jarrett?
There's competition for the spot 11.
Okay,
the Dragon.
50 Steamboat.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Jeff Jarrett is 12th then.
Fujian Army.
Okay,
the
look.
Great Mooter.
Jeff Jarrett's 15th then. He's like 15th.
Rick Rude.
No,
he doesn't.
No. Sorry, mate. Rick Rude wasn't.
Jeff Jarrett's better than Rick Rude.
No, but I said Rick
Rude. I think Rick Rude's not NWA champion.
He's not better than your boys.
Who?
I've named 15 that are better than you.
No, you mentioned like 13. I said I give you 13.
I'll give you 13. Wait a minute, wasn't it 10 at the start?
Okay, but like I said, but remember, he's top 15. He's top 15.
Goalpost.
Yeah, I'm a journalist. Mate. I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist.
Jeff Jarrett's lucky to be in the top 20.
He's the top 15 for sure, mate. Because after that, you got who?
Well, wouldn't you also have Sting? Yeah, we haven't said Sting yet.
Jeff Jarrett, Sting over Jeff Jarrett.
What about Sting going back to like WCW days, NWA days?
Sting over Jeff Jarrett.
You say no.
Sting.
Yeah, Sting.
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. Really? Is that can't draw in your mind? That Jeff Jarrett's better than Sting.
Mate, just accept. Take the L. Take the L.
Jeff Jarrett's a 6-time NWA champion.
Roger, from your own personal opinions of all those people I've named, where does Jeff Jarrett come?
Top 15. Top 15 for sure.
He is good. It's not a knock on Jeff Jarrett, but yeah, there's so many, like, especially if you talk about the quality of the NWA World Title, like he's way down that list.
No, we said 15.
Nah, he's way below 15.
What?
He's below 15. Like, you're gonna count like Buddy Rogers, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Jack Briscoe, Terry Funk, Dory Funk.
Yeah,
I know, but we're still going. Like I'd even say Sting would be somebody that's they're higher for it. So you're just gonna keep and you're not even sort of you just keep going. That belt goes back so far that there's so many like actual like wrestling.
He's above Sabu. He's above Candido. He's above Abyss. He's above
Dan Severn.
He's above Dan Severn.
Really?
He's above Gary Steele. He's above
he's above Chris Candido.
You asked me.
He's most famous for being cuckolded by Sonny. Like, come on, bro.
But you asked me.
He's picking like 94 onwards.
Is Jeff Jarrett good though?
What about Shane Douglas?
He's above Shane Douglas. He's above Shane Douglas as well.
I'll tell you what, Shane Douglas, more famous champion than Jeff Jarrett was.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Really? So he's fucking huge he's had one of the most famous moments in wrestling history.
I agree. The problem was a big deal. But Anton, you're a guy basically who has a strong affinity for that WCW, WWF, and ECW as well. Could you honestly say Shane Douglas, and I'm a big fan of Shane Douglas, is he overall better than Jeff Jarrett?
Not as NWA World Champion, because it was an angle. As a wrestler, it's hard to say because I like them both, and I did like Shane Douglas. I thought he was sort of he didn't get his due.
No.
How about Matt Cardona
in wrestling?
The guy couldn't win.
You know who's the current NWA Heavyweight Champion, Gabe?
Yeah, I know. Funkadelli.
Iris.
Yeah. Since he's Funkadelli, I don't know his name.
But nobody's arguing that the belt has lost a bit of luster.
But I told you, people, this is about SummerSlam. But I did say from 2007 onwards, the NWA title lost its luster. The NWA title lost its luster.
It lost it in the 90s. It lost it in the 90s. That's when the NWA title lost it, in the 90s. Yeah, from that point on, it was never like a figurehead, like a big national sort of championship. It was like an independent belt. So
what you're saying is anyone who won it in the 90s was rubbish.
No, just to say that it didn't have the status that it had like previously. But by the point,
Ric Flair won it in 1994. I bet that was shit.
That's what I'm saying. Mid 90s.
From won it at Slamboree.
Just to be pedantic, it would have been 1993.
There you go, Anton.
It would have been 1993 is when the NWA World Title was last won by Ric Flair. Because after that, it became the international. But that's why Gabe was saying Rick Rude isn't an NWA World Champion because they took it off.
Yeah, it became.
So I'm saying from that point on, once it ended, like with the international title being created, and then they brought it back out, Candido, Dan Severn, people like that. It was never.
He's top 15. Level. I will end with this. He's top 15.
Okay.
He's top 15.
He's just not. He's just not. I've listed 15 guys that are better than him, mate. You just have to suck it up, champ. Now, moving back to SummerSlam, because honestly, this is not the fucking NWA podcast. Fucking who's that geezer from Smashing Pumpkins who owns it? He's well happy right now. He's just got a shitload of free publicity. Gunther retains the IC Championship. Unlucky honky tonk man. Freaking Rollins defended the World Heavyweight Championship courtesy of every bit of shenanigans under the sun. Against Finn Balor in what? Well, I mean, I've got opinions on the match. Anton Green, are you happy with what you saw from the World Heavyweight title?
Of course he is.
Yeah, well, I'd say like from I got into it more as the match was sort of coming. There was a lot of really good sort of moments in there, like drama, like the near falls and stuff. really got you into like you could. There was a point where I thought Finn Balor is actually winning it when they had sort of the distractions and he went up and did the coup de grace, and it's like I thought he'd won it. I thought he'd won it, and like they did suck you in on some really good near falls there with the distractions and stuff. So that point, like from Damian Priest being down there and stuff, they really told a good story in that bit. It did keep you engrossed in it to the point you don't know if Damian Priest was going to cash in. So I wouldn't speak to the whole match saying it was my cup of tea because I sort of checked in more as it got towards the end, probably like maybe midway or a little bit further along. But that bit that I was watching there, it's like it was really. I saw it like more. I mean, I was more into at the point where Finn did the power bomb to the barricade, like to sort of retaliate from the previous. Like that's when I was really sort of watching it intently from then, and it delivered. I thought it was good from that point.
That was the symbolism from the original match.
How he got injured.
I love that. Like I really thought that was great storytelling. He had the 7 obviously on his shoulder because it's been 7 years without that title. Like 7 years on the same pay-per-view, he's giving him the buckle bomb. The same move that done his shoulder in. Like it was very. I thought it was understated as well, which was nice. Sometimes
it wasn't overkill
with this shit, and it's like, oh come on, like where was this? It was like, you actually have to be a fan to appreciate the nuances of what they're doing. Roger Sears, it feels like forever since you last had a chance to speak, Bledger. Probably because someone was mouthing off about Jeff Jarrett for 15 minutes. So Roger Sears, what do you think of the World Heavyweight Championship match? Because we all of us, to be fair, all three of us, when you haven't been here, have said like we've been a bit iffy about the whole rivalry between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins.
So I'm a big fan of the pair of them. I'm starting to lose a little bit of my enjoyment watching Seth, where it feels like his character's getting more and more eccentric, and it just starting. I'm not as big a fan of Seth as I was.
I think it's getting a bit too camp.
Maybe a little bit. But I liked all the nods they made to their previous SummerSlam match 7 years ago. The things you've touched on with the 7 on the shoulder and the powerbomb on the outside, and Seth was wearing the same top underneath his jacket, wasn't he, that he wore 7 years ago?
Yeah.
There are a few things about the match I think that bothered me. And one of them is probably only reason I notice it is because I'm a wrestler now. But there was a point where Seth did the superplex off the top, went to go for the Falcon Arrow. Finn took him in a small package, kicked out, and then Seth gave him a Inzaguri. Then Finn gave him a Pele kick, and that was the moment when they actually fucking sold something. All that sequence before, they sold bugger all of it until that last bit. And as a wrestler, I'm looking at it going, fuck's sake, guys, actually sell the moves.
Indie-rific, isn't it? That's the problem when you let them go full indie.
That for me is kind of like you've no sold stuff. For me, I find that annoying anyway. And then I think the way the match has ended, I think it's shit all over the Judgment Day, if I'm honest.
Dummy.
I don't think it did the Judgment Day any favours the way it ended, because all 4 of them are out there and Seth has still picked up the win.
He just ran right through him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ran right through them all.
For me, I think a better story going forward would have been to have had Finn win it and then have him constantly looking over his shoulder because Priest's there with a briefcase. It would have been a better story going forward. But, I'm not against Seth still being champion. It's just I think they probably could have gone a different direction and there could have been a better story going forward. And, where it is now, where do they go next with Seth? Are they having to find him somebody completely new? So.
Go on, Gabe. What you got? Man?
Like Roger said, I'm not a big fan of Seth anyway. Finn, I like Finn, but it's that thing where 4 lost to 1. Are you telling me you guys are that petty that you can't just come together and say, you know what, bun it? Or say bun it. Forget it. Let Finn win the belt, and then Damon go up here and just beat the guy. But it's the end that made me laugh, where it's like, okay, Finn, you're a heel. From what I know, you're a heel. But you don't want to use the briefcase, and you're that dumb. Curb stomp on your own, your head on the briefcase, 1, 2, 3.
I think that's leading to a face turn eventually.
I know, but I think it's something where I don't like Seth anyway.
Sowing seeds, aren't they? Right?
Yeah, I don't like Seth, and it's just like, wait, this country bumpkin Sorry, this man's man, woman's man, basically beat all 4 of you. Fair enough. Okay.
Why is he a country bumpkin?
No,
That's very strange. Like,
no.
I'm happy to listen to why he is, but please tell me why.
No. He's basically, you know,
driving combine harvesters around, is he?
I was gonna say
because he's from Davenport, Iowa, which is known for having cornfields. Is that why? Huh?
It's known for a lot of that. It's known for a lot of that in the farm. Yes, it's known for a lot of that in the farms, isn't it? So, if you know about the history of drugs in America,
there you go. You heard it here first. Like wrestling, Collins, country bumpkin, hillbilly.
No. Basically, he's the man's man. He's the man's man. That's what he is. He's the man's man.
Is he? Is he? What did you think of his entrance attire? Out of curiosity.
Thing is,
it is worth pointing out that apparently, I don't know this for a fact, but a lot of the internet are saying it was a tribute to Adrian Street.
Probably was, to be fair. Probably was. But again, did the fans even know him? Anyway, Adrian Street. Most fans don't even know who he is.
What? So that means he's not allowed to tribute somebody?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying most fans will be like, "Who's that?" You have to go and look and check to see who it is. But yeah, I'm
but that's kind of the fun of that stuff, isn't it? Going and finding your own knowledge and learning. You know, I know that's difficult for the fucking latest generation.
I was gonna say that. Like me, I love history. But the way people are these days, like, oh, anything past...
I know his NWA title history very well, though, does he?
I do. I actually do, mate. Anton, back me up here. I do know my history.
Really?
What I'm saying...
Really? Now, is that why at the start
he knows the history? Whether he's got the rankings correct, I don't know, but he does know the history.
Top 10 to top 15. But what I'm saying...
I don't know about his rankings.
No, I think what I'm saying with, again, people say there's 2 sets of fans. There's WWE fans and there's AEW fans. The AEW fans basically don't like anything past, 5-10 years ago, if that. Whereas WWE fans basically say we know back from.
But honestly, I don't think that's the case really with it, because you see that they do nod a lot to, like, I feel that's one of AEW's kind of things, is they want to sort of acknowledge history. Even like if you watch like Collision.
Yeah, but only WCW history. That's the problem.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, I think, and they reference other stuff that's happened, but they do seem to like really be big on, like you say, like with NWA type history and stuff like that. And then bring it up even before like the Ring of Honor and stuff like that. I feel like they do want to sort of bring up stuff about history and that kind of thing. That's where it's like, okay, you don't brush it under the carpet to tell a better story. You kind of like acknowledge. Whereas in the WWE, there were more occasions of that, like, okay, we don't bring it up if we don't want to, if they don't fit the narrative.
But you know what the problem is though with Ring of Honor? I liked Ring of Honor, but I'll be honest, I wasn't watching it week to week. You know what I mean? There's like gaps in between. So unless really you tell me, oh, so and so happened, I have to physically look to see it. I don't know. So, and that's what 20 years ago, if that. So, but
Ring of Honor is a bit of a difficult sell, though, isn't
it? Yeah, that's the thing.
Never been a big thing, has it?
No, I mean the good thing for them is they got footage of it, so they can give.
Done a lot for the business. Like it's created a lot of astonishing stars, actually, when you think about it. You know, Daniel Bryan for one. Like, there's a number of people who came through that. Kevin Owens, like Seth Rollins, for instance. You know, cut his teeth in Ring of Honor.
Manu.
So, you know, it is what it is. But I actually thought this was the best wrestling match of the night. Yeah. It was great. Like, brilliant. Like, it was just really well worked, great storytelling. Like Roger said, a few moments where you're like, let it breathe a little bit. That's like, just chill out. But nothing that I found abhorrently offensive. And to be honest, like, if we're going to take people to town for not selling, well, Logan Paul and Ricochet had a few things. By the way, they almost botched the Spanish Fly off the apron again.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, it almost didn't land. I was like, just fucking leave it alone. Stop doing it. Can't help themselves. They were so sure they were going to get it that time, and they didn't. Like, credit to Logan Paul taking a Spanish Fly on the floor. I was like, no, what are you doing? It's not doing that. Honestly, not worth it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Priest not cashing in. I mean, should he cash in on a World Heavyweight Champion, or should he cash in on Roman Reigns?
Well, just do Roman. Just do Roman, just to piss everyone off. Just do it. Piss everyone off.
What, succeed? Cash in and win.
Throw us all off in it. Throw us off. Look, if you're going to cash on anybody, cash in on the biggest star. I mean, if they really believe that he's the guy, Aaron likes him.
From a storyline, they've got the Judgment Day, although they're not on the same page with Finn. They're like, you've got your own group, and the bloodlines, it's splintered. So storyline wise, it makes sense to go try and take it off him.
I think considering what happened in the next match, that's probably might have lent itself to why they didn't force the cash in more as well. Obviously, women's triple threat match. Asuka doesn't retain. She loses to Bianca Belair, who's immediately cashed in on by Io Sky to win the women's championship.
Hey, the fake Bret Hart. The fake Bret Hart.
Yeah, what did we think about the women's triple threat match?
I was disappointed. I'll start first. I was disappointed that Asuka lost because obviously I am a fan of hers. I wasn't a fan of the Goldberg streak, but as a wrestler, I'm a fan of her. I like her work. I admit, I have a friend I can say who's Japanese who said, look, she's just talking nonsense, but it doesn't matter. Again, the match was what it was. Bianca Belair, surprisingly, I'm just like, I'm not. She's good, but I don't like her. It's weird. I don't know why. I'm just not a fan of her. But
she's more wrestling heavy than she's character heavy, maybe? Because she's a lot of what she does is based around her freak athleticism as opposed to being.
Her work's good. Her work thing is, it's weird. Her work's good. She's a pretty woman, but there's just something that's just like, I know from our podcast with Anton, there's a thing where, what's the word? She's too good. She tells everyone she's too good, but she puts it in people's face. But Anton likes to put the Bret Hart's somehow in my face, where it's like, yeah, but Bret's kind of just saying it. He's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm just saying it, but her, she's better than everybody else. She looks better than everybody else. She's a better wrestler, stronger, faster. It's like, it's a heel. I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like, she's a heel. But yeah. But again, when she won it and she lost it, I was like, bravo. So I'm all right.
Roger Sears, what do you think of the women's triple threat, mate?
Probably under-delivered a little bit considering the three that were in there, maybe. I felt that the knee injury bit they did, I'm fairly certain that it was just an angle, the knee injury to Bianca. I don't know whether it was needed or not. Only maybe to make her look a bit stronger by the fact that she didn't give in to the figure eight.
Just for the
I think it's the work. I think we'd have probably heard.
I thought she sold it really well for a work.
Yeah, I was going to say
she did. At first, I thought it was legit. I thought it was a legit injury. I thought Charlotte was going to take it. I didn't want her to, but I thought she was going to win it. So, I mean, in terms of the overall result of it all with the cash in, I'm satisfied with what happened because I didn't really want Charlotte to win it. It's just she was who I thought was going to.
Who did I pick for this one again? Remind me.
Asuka.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd have her as well. Yeah.
I went with Charlotte.
Okay. Did anyone predict the cash in?
No.
Okay.
You and Aaron both predicted Damian Priest cash in.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But no one thought of Io Sky. She was left.
You know what? Honestly, despite being a huge fan of hers, I totally forgot she had the case.
I mean, when the music hit the end of it, I was thinking, who is it? I was thinking, is it Bray Wyatt? I was like, what's going on? Like, what's this music? I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, Io Sky. Oh yeah, Money in the Bank. Okay.
One of the biggest problems as well is they've been spending so much time dedicating wheel damage control breakup. Bailey's a bit dodgy. So the case has been like in the background and no one's really been paying attention to it. Now it comes to the forefront. Now,
which is what adds, I think that's what added to some of that drama as well. Is like you completely, like, it slipped your mind in a way. And you were surprised because it did feel like at one point, is that a legit injury? Because she did really sell it. Like, if it's not, it really, but that scream, like the cry, like you really felt like, I think she's really hurt herself. And it's like, it looked awkward. And you was kind of like, so at that point, you're thinking, is she going to come back? If she comes back in, is she just coming back in to push through the pain? Is it part of the story? And then the fact that she won it, so it's like all of that sort of occupied your mind. Like, she won it. And like, she was out of the two, like Roger said, he's thinking Charlotte would probably win. I picked her. You two both think Asuka. No one's really giving Bianca Belair. Like, no one's thinking she's actually going to win.
Belair win it.
No, you don't think she's going to win it. Like, she's going to win it later down the line. She's not winning it in this match. That's what kind of most of our thinking was, I think. And then the fact that she did win it, and you think, okay, she did win it. And then all of a sudden, in comes like a cash-in. So it's like that had the element of surprise more than most cash-ins did. And I think that they did that well.
What they've been moaning about though a lot in mainstream wrestling right now is that women aren't getting enough time, they're not booked well enough. But coming out of this, calm down, Gabe. Coming out of this, like, it's that thing of, okay, so Bianca Belair immediately has a redemption angle to chase because it's like, hey, I won that and you just took advantage.
Yeah.
Right? You've got obviously Bailey, who'll be like, oh, fucking jealousy. Obviously, I'm the one who brought you in. You're the one who's now champion. Where's my fucking, so she can be a petulant twat about it. Asuka wants to fucking retain her belt. So it's like, if you play it correctly, you've got months worth of like storytelling for that belt, which is great news.
Yeah.
The one thing I really didn't like was the ending. I hated the ending to the normal match because it's done really well. Like, I love the fact that she, first of all, like, it's that thing of how long is she in the figure eight for before she hits that 450? Like, that went on for a long time. Then it's that thing of you've blown your knee out, kayfabe or not. You're fucked, basically. So you've been able to do that, and yet you've still got the wherewithal to, you know, Asuka's very smart. Comes in, missed, brilliant, like, great image. That's how you break Charlotte Flair's lock. And then she still has the wherewithal to duck the kick and roll her out, and she's beaten with a cheap roll up by somebody who can't use one of their knees.
Okay, yeah, I hear that.
Not a fan of that, especially when she's had the belt a couple of months.
If that.
Again, she's transitional champion again. And I feel like she deserves more. So yeah, that's the only problem when you have so many different moving pieces. Somebody's going to have to suck it up and take a big loss here, and unfortunately, it's Asuka who kind of comes out of it being a bit of a bitch again, which is a shame because she held the match together for me.
Yeah.
By the way, Charlotte Flair, again, like, she's kind of done a very good job of having good matches since she's come back without really kind of being in the way. Yeah. And yet all anyone moans about is how she's always in the way, despite the fact that she's easily one of the best women's wrestlers of the last 20 years. The reason everyone hates Charlotte Flair is because she's better than most of them. That's why.
True.
But I'll tell you what, if I forced everybody to write down the best 10 women's matches of the last 15 years, I can guarantee she'd be in half of them.
Gabe's thinking a blank page. I've got nothing on my page.
I was going to go Molly Holly, but I was like, okay.
Molly Holly.
Molly Holly was magnificent, mate.
Yeah, I'm saying, see? So,
but that wasn't, yeah. Like, come on, bro. That's a real stretch, even for you. The main event, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I'm not happy about this at all. It's broke my heart. No, I'm not fucking happy. Oh, really?
You two go first. You guys go first. Go last.
I was so emotionally fucking. I was devastated at the end. The ending devastated me. Jey Uso loses Tribal Combat to Roman Reigns because Jimmy Uso turns on
him. Gabe's just dying in the background there.
What? Why? You didn't have to do. No, didn't like it. Roger Sears.
I think it was fairly predictable that Roman was going to keep it. As much as I admire Jimmy, I just don't think he's a big enough name to be the one to end this incredibly long title reign of Roman's.
That's why Jey was in it instead of Jimmy.
Sorry?
That's why Jey was in it instead of Jimmy.
Wow, yeah.
But they all at the same time,
I don't know. I guess there was always going to be some kind of a screw job finish. I didn't really see that coming, that Jimmy was going to.
They made such a big deal about it, though, didn't they, beforehand, saying that nobody was allowed to get involved?
No.
And then they just shit can that entirely.
I think that thing with like Solo trying to attack like Jey, and when they first said about tribal combat and Roman stopped him, it was almost like there's got to be honor in this, and that was sort of thrown out the window during the match, wasn't it? It's like Solo can just batter him, he let Solo sort of,
which completely killed the credit. What's the point in the gimmick match then?
Yeah.
Just for me, that was probably the biggest issue I had with it. The match itself was fantastic. I thought Jey Uso proved that he belongs in the main event. Again, every time that's the thing. People say, like, you know, he's got the moniker, hasn't he? Main event Jey. And every time people are like, he's not really, though, because they're so used to him being a tag team wrestler. But I'm yet to see him have a bad main event match.
No, I don't think he'd have a bad match. I don't think he'd it don't feel like he'd be the it'd be like win the championship, but it's like, it's not the focal.
But then,
you know what I mean? It's like it'd be.
Everyone felt Sami Zayn was primed and ready and could be the next champion when he faced Roman at Elimination Chamber. In my opinion, Jey Uso is as big a star as a singles wrestler as Sami Zayn is.
Yeah, well, that's why I feel really it needs to be somebody like Cody Rhodes or somebody like that. It should be like a huge thing. And it's like, that's like you said, is he going to be like the face of the company? It's
in your opinion, Jey Uso's not good enough to be the champion.
I don't think it'd be a long-term thing. I think it'd be like, okay, it's he gets a championship reign, and after a short while he loses, and then he goes back to not even being. That's the thing that bothers me. Yes, like the Miz was WWE champion.
Yeah.
Like he won the title, he fought at WrestleMania. After he lost the belt, like he was relegated to like pretty much a nobody, could be beat by anybody. It's like, to me, that's what they do. They did the same with Kofi Kingston, win the championship. It's not like he stayed at that level and he's in the bracket with Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, people like that. He's not. He's just there. He's just a guy, and that's how I feel. That's
into that bracket by having a storyline like this.
No, but I feel like you could argue like it's not a knock on necessarily on the Jey Usos or Kofi Kingstons and people like that. It's a knock on the fact that that there won't be like a follow through long term. So it's almost like same with Sami Zayn. You feel like there wouldn't have been a follow through. Like everyone would be crazy because he's won it, really popular, but then after a few months he'd lose it, and then he's back to like he's no longer.
The moment of him winning isn't.
Yeah, that's how I feel, and I feel because it's Roman Reigns like having this epic 3-year plus title reign. It's talking about like knocking on the door of Hogan and people like that. It's like to end it to something like that. Not picking on Jey Uso or something like that, but to end it in that manner, it needs to be someone like Cody Rhodes, where you feel like, okay, that's impactful, that's significant, and he's going to be a significant person going forward. So you're always going to remember him winning that title, his first one at that, like from in that moment ended Roman Reigns' epic reign. I just feel like that's something that maybe, Jey Uso could beat Seth Rollins or someone like that and win that championship. But this particular one, I feel like needs to be reserved for something huge. Whether they'll go with that, I don't know. They might just have him sort of lose it into something, to something to do with the bloodline. But I feel like for that reason, I don't feel like it was the right person for him to lose it to. It's not a knock on Jey Uso. It's, if anything, it's just how it feels like. I want it to be a big deal when he loses that belt to the next person that he loses it to, and that person has a significant reign and is a genuine sort of permanent main event player.
Gabe, what do you think of the main event?
The match for me was good. I did like it. I think the ending, the reason why I laughed basically is because the ending, I'm thinking, didn't these two have a beef anyway at one point? Wasn't there some sort of beef between or them, some sort of like
Well, it was kind of like the whole storyline when Sammy, because obviously Jimmy enjoyed Sammy being around. Jey always thought he was a snake. And then, but they did such a beautiful job emotionally of building the fact that, you know what, both of us are out. And it was such a huge moment when he said, I'm out too.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy's the first to go out. Then Jey joins him. Jey sort of takes her, and also Jimmy was battered beyond belief and stuck in an ambulance, won by Reigns a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown. So that was kind of how they wrote him away from it. So it's like, Jey, you're on your own here. And then obviously Jimmy turns on him, which
for some reason,
strong opinions about.
I thought for some reason Rikishi was going to be there. I don't know why. I kept thinking
you have been on the Rikishi band.
It's because. Thing is, obviously I know it's media, I know obviously it's work and everything, but there was what was it for the last 2 or 3 weeks he's been doing interviews about him possibly being there. And
what do you think he was gonna do? Come out and go, I did it for The Rock again?
No, I don't know why. I just thought Rikishi's gonna be there.
Why did you turn on your sons? I did it.
That's what I thought. But that's what literally for some reason I thought Rikishi's gonna be there and turn his son. I don't know what it was. And be like the extra person.
WrestleMania 40 and call him a thong wearing fatty all over again.
To be honest, I know it's silly, but that's what I thought. I thought Rikishi's gonna come back, turn on his son, join Roman, and basically gonna be part.
Like, I can understand if he was like still wrestling in his prime. Why would you think at like 60 or whatever he is, he then turn on his children?
You know what? Like I said, because he's done interviews, but also he's done interviews, but also I thought it kind of makes sense, but it's like, well, there's somebody else. What was it? There's only 2 people in the group. There's a third guy. Why not go back to, okay, there's no Yoko because he's not here. Can't go to the dads. You can't go Rosie. You can't go Marga. Why not Rikishi? And also Rikishi's only sons.
Because he's the only one that isn't dead.
Also, it's like, okay, from a story point, a father turned against his son for, you know what I mean?
But from a storyline perspective, do we honestly think Rikishi's then going to rock up and go for 6 months for the Usos? Like,
well, again, like I said, it was just.
Have you seen him lately?
Short matches. Again,
really short.
And again, Solo basically can be Solo.
It'll be like Bret Hart versus Vince. Jesus, like, get out of town. Just be quiet. That's terrible.
No,
terrible
it's not terrible.
Terrible idea.
Okay.
Terrible idea. Like, there's a reason why not a single person has mentioned it, because it's awful. Literally, the only thing that would pop me out of that is if he came out and went, "I did it for the Rock." Like, that's it.
All right. So if he came out and basically said, "You know what, I'm their dad, whatever, blah blah blah," but you know what, you guys needed me at one point, but you turn your backs against me. You know, bun you, stuff you, and everything. I'm basically the real leader of the family and everything. I now say Roman's the guy and everything. Huh?
He's not really the leader of the family, though, is he? That's never been established.
He's the only one that's still alive. From a story perspective, Yoko's dead, Nwaga's dead.
Basically,
the World Samoans are still alive.
Yeah, but listen, I can flip them on the head; they'll fall on the floor. So you can't use them. You can't use them. I would say use Manu, but then Aaron will say, "Who the hell is Manu?" So it's like, well, who else can he use?
No, man. I used to like Manu. I thought he was great, but there's that thing of like, come on, man. Like, I think.
You know, it's a throwback.
Even for you, this is
a throwback. It's a throwback, isn't it? It's a throwback, isn't it? So
throwback is an understatement, bruv. We're going back to WrestleMania 9.
But yeah, no. I think again, like I said, other than that sort of thing, it was a good match and everything. The ending, to be fair, like I said, I won't say it surprised me, but at the same time, it's okay. Where do we go from here? Because for me, how I look at it is Roman needs something onto WrestleMania. That's what he needs something to WrestleMania. So it's like, well,
what do you think the storyline is coming out of this? Jimmy Uso saying should have been me to take out Roman, because Roman does still look at him funny, doesn't he? When he walks away, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
as if to say, "Why have you done that?" Because I wouldn't buy a sleeper agent method here, where it's like, Jimmy took the loss on purpose to, root you out.
That's where you're hoping they don't go there.
Too much.
Yeah, I reckon they will go there.
Well, no, hopefully they almost like go independently of it, like leave Roman out of it for now. It's between Jimmy and Jey. It's like their own sort of beef, and let that sort of
leaves LA Knight primed and ready.
Yeah,
but again, if LA Knight loses to Roman, he's Stardom's dead. He started with trust me.
Roman accidentally speared Solo, so they teased the dissension there again.
Yeah, there's still something between them two that they can play on. So maybe they'll just go off and do Jimmy and Jey for a bit.
Solo just stood there when he got speared through the barricade, didn't he?
Dummy.
Yeah, because he didn't want to. Yeah, he wouldn't help him up.
Which was really funny. I thought it was really funny. He just went. He just got speared. I was like, okay, kind of amusing to me. I will give them the benefit of the doubt and wait and see what the storytelling is.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Yeah,
let us down at all. However, I must admit, I was broken by Jimmy Uso turning on Jey. I am literally unapologetically the Uso's biggest fan. I think they're the best tag team in the world of the last 20 years. I do. And you can take your headphones off. That's fine by me. That's fine. Yes, because you don't want to listen to the truth, mate. You just hide. Go on, hide. That's right.
That is a bunch of bull honky. The last 20 years.
Right. Who's a better tag team in the last 20 years?
Mate, Billy and Chuck's better than these two mushes.
Really?
Okay. I'm taking a bit. But really? 20 years, you're saying that the Usos, I know we've had this on our podcast, Anton.
I've said this several times on the podcast.
20 years.
So it's not like I'm fucking just coming out of nowhere with it. In my opinion, since the original trifecta, you remember when it was Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and the Hardys, they're the best tag team since that era.
I've said before there's an argument that can be made for that.
Give me an argument.
There is an argument to be made for them that they I couldn't necessarily think of one to throw out there.
I was gonna go Batista.
Best storytelling, best quality matches.
Yeah, and I think the fact they've had almost two separate ones as well.
The only other team right now that's on their level is FTR.
Yeah, and I think I prefer FTR, but I think they've had more of a body of work so far and more of a status because they've had that period when they were babyface with the face paint and stuff. That was a good run for them.
The only reason, in my opinion, FTR aren't above them is because they didn't do it at the highest level. In my opinion.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I do prefer FTR. I think that superior, but I think they've got more of the accolades and the high profile, and they've had that consistency that it would be hard to make an argument that they're not the best one of this period, this generation, and they're up there.
Who's better, New Day?
Again, I think they've had more of a body of work than New Day. In a way, I'd say that.
In my opinion, New Day versus Usos is the best tag team rivalry of the last 20 years.
They've been the top ones of the last, like you said, this sort of period.
You know what it is? I'm thinking of teams, but a lot of it's all makeshift teams. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like you've got to think of
I'm
consistency.
not saying that, like, you know, there's been a list of amazing tag teams.
No.
Ultimately, tag team wrestling has taken a big hit, but that's the other thing as well. They have rejuvenated them, and FTR are the two reasons why we still love tag team wrestling.
True.
So
okay, fair enough.
I'm happy to listen to arguments for other tag
teams. No, because you know what it is? I was thinking of like Batista there, but I was thinking, well, Batista Ric Flair wasn't that great of a tag team, or Rated RKO. I liked Rated RKO.
Yeah, but they're one off.
I love
they're one off like short term, aren't they? They're not. Yeah, they don't have any that kind of body of work.
That's problem. So okay, fine, you can have that. You can have that. Fine.
The team that I really like.
I mean, the other argument is the Young Bucks.
No.
Exactly. Exactly my point. Exactly.
Oh, thanks.
Tell me the Young Bucks better than Usos. Go on.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
Because you're not fucking stupid. You might be a bit delirious at times, but you're not a fucking moron.
No, I'd say history.
I know all those fucking marks on Twitter. Oh, the Young Bucks are better than Usos. Yeah, of course they are.
What?
Like, seriously, this. Of course, they're all AEW fans. Stupid. Like, but for me, I do worry because if that's it, as far as the Usos are concerned, right, your tag team division is fucked, mate. It's fucked. Well, the Viking Raiders, they're going to take up the mantle, are they? Exactly that. Exactly.
What about what's that group again? With the
Alpha.
LWO.
Alpha. Alpha Academy.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Alpha.
Hey, I like Alpha Academy, but if you try and sit there and tell me that they're better than you,
they're not.
I will personally come to your house and shove a bottle of Prime up your ass. Like, you got to look at Paul Enema for the evening.
I can't stand this tag team. The one is it Montez Falls and who's the other guy? Or Big Ed?
Yeah, I mean they're good, and they've just got this new. I think they've been really good and quite consistent as well. Like over several years and they've just joined up with Bobby Lashley now, haven't they? So they're having a little bit of a new.
I've not seen that.
Yeah,
literally SmackDown just gone. Yeah, they did a run in suits.
Too long, man. I'm not watching a 3-hour TV series. Way too long.
So yeah, they've got that new sort of repackaging going on, and like might have a different edge now. So that's
what are they called now? The happy business.
What about the original LAX with Hernandez, Conan, and
fucking phenomenal. But
yeah, I forgot about them. Yeah,
absolutely fucking phenomenal. But it's that thing of
too short. I know.
Yeah, and also body of work not in enough great places to do it. They deserve to be on TV.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The amazed WWE didn't get them because they were fucking incredible. And also the rebuilt LAX, Proud and Powerful, for a while felt like they were growing and growing and growing. Got to AEW, and then AEW were like, "Nah, we got the Young Bucks, so we can't put over anyone who's got any ethnicity." Sorry. What? Okay, cool. Like, it's just they buried it. They buried it. There's so many times where you thought, "Oh wow, Proud and Powerful," you know. Santana and Ortiz could really be one of the best tag teams in the world, and AEW like, meh, because it's just you got to get the Young Bucks over, pal, smashing them over like mad.
This one I'll give you, because I said I was looking over. Like I said, it's all short teams. It's like for the long period. Fair enough, you can have that one. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just that one. Just that one.
Just that one.
Well, no, you also gave him the Jeff Jarrett. You knocked Jeff Jarrett down.
No, I didn't. No.
4 pegs. He went down to 15. He went to 15.
Jeff Jarrett was in the top 10 and you kept moving the goalposts.
Okay.
Knocked him down to pegged him down to 15.
13, then it was 15. Like 13. What a terrible number to pick.
But the thing is, as I said with Jeff Jarrett, I don't want to be redundant here. We said actual NWA title run, not Great Muta as a wrestler altogether, not Sting as a wrestler altogether. We said their runs,
a great NWA champion, yeah.
So you're saying, okay.
So what? You think, so do you know for a fact that Great Muta's run was rubbish? Then, do you?
No, I'm saying I know he was rubbish. I'm saying as his NWA World Title reign, was it a good reign? It was decent, but it wasn't great.
Do you know what Gabe's not used to having it out with somebody who actually knows their shit. That's the
problem. Oh no, it's not that at all. I like this. I actually like this. But I'm saying Jeff Jarrett's reign as an NWA champion was actually good. If you look at his reign,
this is the problem with being a sheep, Anton. You don't challenge him enough.
Oh yeah, I challenge him. Trust me. I challenge him. I'm letting you do the job today.
No.
Let him go unchecked for you.
I take him on.
Well, again, you talked about tag teams. You can have this one, so it's okay.
Meanwhile, Roger Sears is just primed and ready for a history maker. Look at him. He's like, I'll all you bricks. He's ready and waiting. Do we think that splitting up the Usos, if it does happen long term, is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think they got more value as a tag team because I don't think they'll go that far like with them. I just don't think they'll they'll do as much on their own. But at the same time, they've been together such a long time that it probably, although they are a good tag team to take away, it might freshen things up if they do get more tag teams and start getting behind other tag teams, that taking them out of the picture for a while.
Who's better?
Let's freshen things up.
Who's better out of the two?
I think Jay's got more of he's got more sort of personality.
And, only because, with all fairness to Jimmy, because Jimmy got injured, he had the DUIs as well, so it's like it's a bit of an unfair argument.
And he's had
was around when Jimmy wasn't, so he had the opportunity to build as a
establish him.
Jimmy's never, and that again should play into the storyline quite nicely.
Yeah.
Like, you had all the opportunities. You never fucking came and helped me out. You were too busy trying to be main event, Jay, blah, blah, blah. Stick him inside Hell in a Cell. Make it as bloody and as violent as fucking possible.
Which we know they won't do. But you know what? To be fair, again, because of this takeover, maybe they will. Because of the UC stuff. Personally, I would love it if you can kind of go back to where there was, obviously with restrictions, obviously, a bit more blood, a bit more edgy, a bit more hardcore.
Watch at AEW.
That's the cocaine I'm taking there, people.
So you get your blood. You got John Moxley every.
No amount of cocaine is going to get me excited about
it. Look, you got Christian Cage. He's keeping me going there. To be fake, just Christian Cage. So Jericho as well. I'm good. And Sting.
It's like, if you got like a man crush from Christian Cage, what's going on here?
No, I just think he's a good wrestler. He's nobody's going to sit here and deny that Christian Cage is an excellent talent. Like, he's underrated.
He's a really funny guy, like really, really nice guy.
Okay.
A lot of time for Christian, but not as good as Edge though, was he?
I like both, so you know how we on that point. So I like both, so it's all right.
There's no actual WWE pay-per-view scheduled yet for the rest of the year. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, there is. Next one is Payback. Of course it is.
When's that?
Of course it is. Yeah, Payback, and then Fast Lane. Who faces Roman Reigns next? LA Knight?
Well, I was going to say, you go to LA Knight, could be.
No, to be fair, I don't know what it is. Drew?
No. After you just lost to Gunther as well, and they've done it last year.
Lost to Gunther. Why should I believe that?
And they did it last year. That was the bet. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be something like LA Knight as for one pay-per-view, like capitalize on the popularity he's got. Because and get more, like, I don't think he'd win the title, so it'd be more backlash on Roman Reigns. There
are 5 pay-per-views left. Payback in September. No Mercy at the end of September is an NXT pay-per-view, so technically it's only 4. Fastlane in October. A Saudi Arabia show at the beginning of November, and then Survivor Series at the end of November. And then we'll obviously build the Mania again.
I don't even know. I'll be honest. I don't even know.
Yeah, my think possibly LA Knight would be as a one-off thing.
I don't want.
But I'm just saying that.
Great promos though.
It would be. It'd build up to a really good match.
Lose their mind when LA Knight comes out and eviscerates him on the mic.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would feel like a big deal.
And he's going to chat shit, and like people are going to go mad for it.
Yeah, it would do. But then he'd end up losing the match, and it's but it would get more.
He ain't really doing fuck all, and he's massively over.
Yeah, he's somebody that.
Like, what has LA Knight done really in the last 3 or 4 months? Not much.
Well, that's why I was kind of thinking with that Battle Royal that, like, although he is the predictable choice, and it's kind of built around him, it's like, are they just going to have somebody else win it? It's just, like when they almost with
I thought
Daniel Bryan
was going to dump him out.
Yeah.
That's what I was, because he beat him on SmackDown just before, so it's like you've kind of basically everything's built for LA Knight. He's winning he's won the match before. It's built around him. He's are you going to actually just go ahead and say, yeah, we're building it as if he's going to win it, and then we're going to let him win it? Are you going to throw us off? And that's what I was thinking. As much as I'd like to see him win it, I was thinking he might not because of that, but I'm going to pick him. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes they do that thing like with Daniel Bryan, where it's like, okay, we know people are going to complain, so we're going to keep having him lose, like he's losing Randy Orton all the time. They might do stuff like that, like, Money in the Bank. Everyone's like calling for him to win it. Okay, we don't let him win it. Put him against Roman Reigns. Don't let him win it. Like, I could see them going that way to just think that's going to keep people talking about him and rooting for him, because we're not fully pulling the trigger on him, and that's what they want us to do. But I feel like if they did, that's the only problem is the potential backlash. But I think he could deliver, because he's really good. He's such a breath of fresh air of somebody who can actually really cut entertaining promos, proper they feel like old school sort of.
The Rock, he reminds you.
It reminds you of those sort of days where they don't just stand there and just like stutter through like, and I was thinking, and it's like he comes out and he just, like all of those type of like thoughtful, long-winded promo. He comes out and just gives you something captivating.
Weirdest sound I've ever heard out of Anton Green in my life.
When I heard it, I think of Ed because he says for years, Ed's like that.
I always feel like that's become the thing. It's like, the little stuttering promos. And I was thinking to myself, why would I? I'm like, just stop acting like you're overthinking, like you're like I almost missed a day. Mr. Days just coming out and saying
session with Mr. Clean. Love it. When's the last time you cut a promo, Ant?
I let Gabe do the talking.
I
usually just come in for like the punchline or something. I just throw in a schweig or.
Fair enough. Roger says, out of 10, what would you give SummerSlam?
7.5. 7.5. Yeah.
And Son, what would you give it?
Yeah, I'd probably say the same, 7 or 8.
Gabe, a 2, I suppose.
7. 6.5, 7. I think the disappointment of Asuka and Seth retaining it kind of dropped it down a bit. But again, it's more the fan of me. But overall, about maybe 7.
An 8 for me. Thought it was really good.
Yeah. If Keith's coming in, I would love it.
It was really good. Wasn't like fuck's sake. It wasn't. You know what? Even God says that sometimes you should just shut your mouth. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Again though, it proves to me like it does help if you don't watch all the TV show religiously, I think. But watching all the pay-per-views, they've all been excellent this year. I really feel like WWE's built a brilliant body of work this year. It's been one of the best years they've had since, the more successful years, I think. I really do. I think the quality of the pay-per-views, the storytelling, the great matches, they're building stars again as well, which is nice. It's not just Roman Reigns and everyone else is a scrub. Like Cody Rhodes feels like a big deal. LA Knight, whether people like it or not, is over. He feels like he's moving up the card. They're giving people opportunities to work in main event spots, and they feel like they're paying dividends for that. So they're putting in the work. I liked it. Would it be as good as All In though?
If my buddy Vince Russo's there and my boy,
we mock like not every single person in here is going.
If Goldberg's gonna be there, mate, that's gonna make my night. That will make my night for sure.
Who's going to Coliseum? Roger says he's going to Coliseum, but the business currently
have to check our diaries. We've got to join the same day.
Same day, innit? Starts at 1 o'clock.
Where? At the stadium?
Coliseum.
No.
Loads of times. Are you deaf? Like, yeah, exactly. You have those things glued to your head, you muppet. Coliseum, 1 o'clock, August the 27th at Stanley Arts in Norwood Junction.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Aaron Nix is on it, so I don't care. Yeah.
No, I think we're going to be there, Anton. We're going to be there. We're going to be there. Are we in it?
Possibly. We'll be in it. Show before. We won't be in it. No.
We'll be there supporting you. We'll be there supporting you. So
I'd be very kind, sir. But if anyone does want tickets for it, by the way, I can give you a cheeky little discount to help you out. Use the code FF20 at the checkout to get 20% off your tickets. So there you go. So anyone listening who wants to check out some proper wrestling before they go and watch all the kids pretend to wrestle down at Wembley, come and watch. Roger's ears, you're laughing, but I'll tell you what, mate, you booked your tickets for Coliseum, didn't you? You can't wait. John Redmond versus Bullet, Jack Selstrom versus Warren Banks. Aisha Raymond makes her debut for Coliseum. Scarlett as well. Excited about that. Scares the fuck out of me, but I was just like, don't want none of that. Thank you very much. Hey. Not that I want anything of anyone else. Like Bullet scares the fuck out of me. Oh, fuck that. But if you want to see really, really, really good British independent wrestling and see why it's good to watch your local indies, that is your first port of call for that weekend. Absolutely. But there'll be loads of great shows on the weekend, so it's definitely worth checking out. We're going to be All In. We'll do a preview for that, hopefully, if we can collar the business beforehand. That'll be fun, and we might even try our hand at a cheeky little live podcast as well, which will be a lot of fun. And if you're in block 536, which I believe is what we're all in. By the way, Ajax and his partner are also in our block as well.
Oh my God.
It is getting busy in block 536. Come and join us.
Does anyone plan to wear like any big kind of t-shirts or anything like that?
Not really. I'm probably just going to wear what I wear to Coliseum. I can't be asked to change. But,
I'm going literally. I'm a Vince Russo guy. Literally, just to get everyone.
I know you've said this several times. Like,
yeah,
I'm glad that you have so much disposable income that you can buy crap, mate.
It's not that. I want to. Again, I'm not saying I'm a big old tough guy, but I want to see actually these supposedly tough guys actually come and say something. I'm ready for it. So, hate him so much.
You really think most people in this stadium even know who Vince Russo is?
Well, again, they hate
There's a load of casuals, mate. They don't care. Like, there's probably going to be about 10 hardcore AEW fans in that block if you're lucky.
Fair enough.
Right. Roger Sears is going with his son. You think Roger Sears cares about Vince Russo?
Mate, if you saw Vince Russo, I'd be like, oh, Vinny, you're right. Probably be, I'll behave because his son's there, so I'll behave.
I guarantee Vince Russo is not going to be at Wembley. He just came out of a podcast, so he doesn't even watch wrestling anymore because he's 60 years old and he's grown up. You think he's going to fly over to England just to sit down and watch AEW?
What
he said, his biggest fan, Gabe.
What he said is that if he gets paid, if he's getting paid, Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, I mean AEW will literally pay anyone, as we've seen. They found a load of binmen and taught them how to be wrestlers. Apparently, that could be anyone on the roster, couldn't it? Looking at you, Brandon Cutler.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh,
fucking
God.
Mark. Roll
off.
Did this, you prick. Right, that wraps up the SummerSlam review. Anything you gentlemen want to add before we crack on? And Tom, perhaps you'd like to tell everyone where they can find the Let's Talk Business podcast.
I should hand those duties over to Gabe once in a while, but you can find us now. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Let's Talk Business. It's getting a little bit busier.
Yep.
We're still working on it, Aaron.
Yep.
Hurry up. Update the page. Get some new graphics. Pull it out.
Hey, we put the SummerSlam predictions up this weekend. That was a new post.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you guys do a SummerSlam predictions thing, did you? Did you do a podcast?
We didn't do an episode, no. We didn't get round to it. So what we just did, to make sure that no one claims that, obviously we did it in a private message between the three of us, but we put out like a post just saying what my predictions and what Gabe's are. So they're out there.
Apparently, I'm not good.
They hadn't arrived in time. I hadn't got your message in time.
That's fine.
Don't forget, you were ringing us on the return of a
ringing us. I was videographer.
Well, yeah, you left us a voice message about, was it like 12 something?
It was about 10 minutes.
You literally said in your message, like 10 minutes to go before SummerSlam, so I can get this in like
transparency. Over the week.
Oh well,
Giving out to me for fucking working for Rise. Like, you know what? I'll send you the footage first from what I saw.
No, don't do it. Have mercy on me, please.
Gabe hasn't even heard about it. Things have been seen that will never be unseen. It was, by the way, if anyone's interested in what the fuck I'm talking about, Rise Underground Pro Wrestling, 18 plus, hardcore. It's called Britain's Maddest Wrestling Show, and I can absolutely attribute to the fact that is 100% true. Oh, holy fucking hell. There are things that literally God would frown upon that was seen last night. It was interesting to say the very least, but it is no doubt worth the entertainment value. It is insane. And also some very good wrestling, to be fair, as well. Nina Samuels and Natalie Sykes killed it in the main event. Brilliant stuff. So yeah, check that out. You can check out Rise on demand, but also you can see quite a lot of highlights from their stuff on their Facebook page if you check out Rise Underground Pro Wrestling. But yeah, don't forget to check out Let's Talk Business. Great podcast between two excellent professionals who know their shit. Don't forget to check out Roger Sears, who will be at BCD Sympathy for the Devil. And when will that be, Roger Sears? The night before AEW All In. You will be defending the BCD Championship against not one, but two whippersnappers vying for the belt in a triple threat match. Roger Sears defends his BCD Championship. You heard it here first. Fuck it, I'm going to give it away because I don't care if he hasn't advertised it yet. Roger Sears will be defending it against WrestlePlug's own Cameron Anderson and the very exciting young talent that Anton got a brief look at, Nate Riley, who was at IWE, the extremely athletic young man. He'll also be in that match, triple threat match for the BCD Championship. That is August the 26th, Sympathy for the Devil, Parkstone Trades and Labour Club. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 7:30. Tickets are £6 in advance. Right, so
that's a steal, mate. That's a steal.
Don't sit there and tell me that there isn't still good value and a good night out available for people, because there absolutely is. There's a number of great wrestling promotions, and if you got local ones, check them out. You might have a good time, and most of them are family friendly, so you can take your kids as well. BCD probably not so family friendly after what Roger Sears does to Cameron Anderson's bumhole, but that is. It's gonna get extreme, pal. You will have sympathy for the devil by the end of that. Holy cow! I look forward to that. What a main event! Probably won't be in the main event. Actually, should be in the main event, but it probably won't be. But internal politics, power struggle. You're not politicking enough, Rod.
Nah, clearly not.
No, but yeah, check out Rod Sears Wrestling in the Business. I believe we'll be wrestling very soon. Next month, actually. You boys are heading over to Austria again, aren't you? You got dates for that?
Oh, indeed.
Oh, yes, indeed. Training for that myself. And we should be kicking off from there afterwards. So I'm looking forward to that.
What's the date of the show you're on? Do you know? Like what company and the date? In Austria.
Go on, Gabe.
Does Gabe know anything? Or are you his fucking...
I manage his diary.
Are you his PA? Like,
He is. He is.
He chats shit and calls you a sheep, but I'll tell you what, he would have no clue where he's going with that, would he?
I've had concussions upon concussions, mate, like my boy Christian. So,
When do you
travel, who sorts the travel out? Is it? I bet it's Anton Green driving, isn't it? I bet it is.
Me, I'll bring my passport. So where we go, mate? I'm good to go.
I'm a sheep. I'm the follower. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I'm the follower. I'm the sheep.
That's why Gabe follows you wherever you go. Because he has to get in the passenger seat. Bless him.
I follow the leader.
Very smart man. Very smart man. But yeah, check it. Seriously though, if you get a chance, you see the Business on a card, go and check them out. They're fucking amazing. Great entertainment, great value for money, and also proper professional wrestlers, not a bunch of bin men like Brandon Cutler. But good stuff. I just hate him so much. It drives me mad. I hate him so much. He's shit. He's up there with Naka fuck off. I can't be.
More than Vince Russo. Do you hear more than Vince Russo?
I don't hate Vince Russo. It's just I hold him accountable for the things that he's done. Accountability is important, isn't it, Gabe?
And he holds himself accountable as well. So it's
exactly. Where's Vince Russo in the list of NWA Heavyweight Champions for you?
That's the WCW list.
I could honestly say.
You're going to try and argue now that.
No. I'll finish this after this.
Champions.
I'll honestly say this. I'm a fan of Vince Russo on his work. It's good and his bad is done. But as for WWE champion, probably the second worst one ever.
What?
Second worst.
Who do you think's worst? David Arquette? Do you think that's definitely the worst?
Yeah, of course. Again, I've watched Arquette for years. He's a nobody, a string bean. The fact that he had Courtney Cox in the first place, boy, bless him. But yeah, nah. Vince Russo, you're looking at me. I'm like, yeah.
I reckon there's a few people underneath David Arquette in that list. I do. I reckon I could find probably 5 guys who deserve it.
So WCW from 1991 to 2001, technically, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be someone in there who's
no way.
There's got to be someone who probably even drew less.
Nah. Look, Anton's not a big fan of DDP. But
there's a lot of factors in there though, isn't there? Like it's not just whether because obviously from a wrestling standpoint, of course he's the worst. Like he's David Arquette, but it's that thing of like, did it draw any money? Did he get any?
Anton DDP. Remember you keep saying about how you didn't like DDP, so go on. You didn't like him.
He was, well, for me, one of the most underrated WCW champions.
That's what I think. No, Anton, don't do that. Don't do that. You were crap on DDP for ages. I kept saying DDP, he beat Hogan, he beat Kevin Nash. You're like, no.
Well, I wouldn't say he's one of the greatest WWE World Champions. Far from it. But I can appreciate.
He's one of the worst ones?
He's definitely above Vince Russo and David Arquette.
I need to do the
I wouldn't put him above Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or
Goldberg.
Or Sting or Goldberg there's quite a few people I'd rank up there my personal list. But that's the thing. Partly, and I've said to you, some of my opinions, like I tell you like how I felt when I was a hardcore wrestling fan. He wasn't one of my favorite people because I just thought he was so cheesy and tacky.
Mate, he had Kimberly. That alone, mate.
Yeah, but I didn't. But I could appreciate like the wrestler that he was, but I didn't feel like again that he was the best choice for WWE World Champion at that point. And it wasn't a great world title reigns. That was the period of WWE where the belts are just not that prestigious. They are changes.
You need to go back and watch 2000, mate. Oh my god.
That's what I mean. That's when partly DDP
like 17 champions in a year or something.
Exactly. From that point, like when he first won it, it was just before. Now it's starting to become like now they are going to start just switching it. You've had you got David Arquette and Vince Russo in that year, and Kevin Nash handing the belt to Ric Flair rather than even losing. It's like so many things at that point. So that's what I'm saying. That's when DDP was the world champion. To me, no, he doesn't rank up there with the greats. But that's my opinion.
So basically, he's down there then. Basically, without saying it,
I'd hold him above them. I'd hold him above them for sure. But there's probably not too many people. He's probably lower down the list for me. But then that's because some of the others were so high.
You know what I love most about this argument is the fact that Roger says clearly needs to go to bed, but it's so
Sorry, Roger.
Sorry, Roger.
Sorry, Roger. We're wrapping up there. We're wrapping up there.
At 6 in the morning, cunts, and you're rabbiting on about WCW. Shut the fuck up. Like, you can see him. He's like, fucking please, lads.
That's why I keep looking at him. Literally, I'm just looking.
Bless him. Right, we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to check out WrestlePlug at WrestlePlug on all social media. Check out Let's Talk Business. Check out Roger Sears Wrestling because he's fantastic. He doesn't get nearly as much credit as he deserves. Sympathy for the Devil, like I've said. August 26th, I'll be at Coliseum. August the 27th, that's my next gig where you'll see me in front of the camera. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've made it to the end. And also, let us know, where does Jeff Jarrett fit in the list of all-time great NWA Heavyweight Champions? I want to know, does he crack your top 5? He does. Stop taking drugs. Go outside. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the WrestlePlug and Let's Talk Business combined. And we'll catch you very soon for more content from this absolute shitstorm. Also, have fun censoring all my swear words, Anton Green.
Yeah, cheers.
You fucking melt.